In today's video, we're going to look at how you can tell that an emotionally unavailable man is actually really into you. So this is going to help you to understand how someone who's not very good at communicating his feelings is really feeling deep down inside, and that can help you decide whether it's worth committing to a relationship with him or whether it's time to walk away. So why is it so difficult to be sure whether Mr. Emotionally Unavailable is actually into you? It sounds like there should be a really easy answer. Just ask. Just ask. It'll be fine. Oh boy. Just asking, first of all, is really hard. There's no just about asking. Asking someone who isn't giving you clear signs how they feel can be unbelievably intimidating. It's almost unrealistic. It's great if you can, fantastic, but it's hard. Sometimes it's worth taking a slightly easier option, at least having a clue before you open up the conversation. The second thing is that we're talking about someone who's emotionally unavailable. He's probably not great at talking about his emotions. He's probably not doing fantastically at communicating how he's feeling. And so asking might not get you much detail and might not give you the reassurance you need. So let's look at some of the top signs, including my favorite, which I'm going to put right at the end. One of the first signs that Mr. Emotionally Unavailable is actually really into you is that he starts opening up. Now, if you're emotionally open, you might not think that that's a big deal. Of course, I'll talk about my emotions, I'll talk about things, I'll open up about whatever it is. For someone who's emotionally unavailable, that is a huge deal. That is such a big thing. It's such a big change. And it's a change he's making because he wants to feel more connected with you. If someone who's naturally open opens up about something, it can feel quite normal. If someone who finds that difficult really takes that extra step and works to open up and show you who they are, that's probably an important sign. And it's something that it's worth treating with respect. He'll probably find it really difficult. He's probably struggling with it. Showing that you respect that you've noticed that he's opened up and you appreciate it, is one way to show him that you care too and that you know what it means to him. Part of opening up will include usually him talking about his past a little bit. So someone who's emotionally unavailable is used to keeping everything inside, and the past is quite an emotional place. When we talk about the past, we're telling people how we became who we are, what matters to us, what are the things that we remember, and we remember things because they're important to us. Talking about your past can give people a real sense of who you are and what your values are. So when Mr. Emotionally Unavailable starts opening up about his past, telling you about things he did at school, even if they seem quite unimportant or minor, it's actually possibly quite a big deal. The next sign that someone who is usually very reserved or doesn't emotionally connect with people very easily is actually putting you front and center in as a part of his life is that he starts to include you in his plans. Now, someone who's emotionally unavailable will typically be very independent. So he's used to the idea that as soon as he wants to do something, he'll just do it. And he's happy to do it alone. So if he wants to go and hike a particular trail, he won't look for advice or support or anything like that. He'll just plan it and go. He might invite you, and that would be great. But you're not a key feature of the planning stage. So as soon as he starts including you in the planning, what he's saying is, I'm opening up this part of my life and I'm making a space in my life that I want you to try and fit into. That can seem a little strange if you're used to being open, but actually it's quite a big deal. He's giving you access to this part of his life. It's a little bit like the emotional equivalent of him giving you your own drawer at his place. He's including you in his planning and trying to make a space for you in his life. This is even more of a big deal if he's introducing you to his friends and family. Again, Mr. Emotionally Unavailable is used to holding back. He's not trying to integrate somebody else into his life. If he likes you, that's great, and he'll interact with you and enjoy being with you, but he's not trying to draw you into his life. As soon as he's giving you access to his friends and his family and the people who matter to him, he's making it harder for himself to pull away. And he's doing that voluntarily. That's, again, a really big sign that he wants you around for the long term. The next thing that you might notice with someone who's emotionally unavailable but is actually really into you is that he starts paying attention. Once again, those of us who are used to paying attention to our partners and to the people we're attracted to and to the people that we're just around, just like, well, yeah, he mentioned that he really likes sweet potato fries. Great. I remember that 6 weeks later. But for someone who isn't used to interacting in that way, and for someone for whom that's not natural, it's, again, a big step. He's focusing more on you and paying attention to your needs and what's going on in your mind. He's used to only really thinking about him. So again, if he starts remembering these little details about you, or paying attention to things that you've mentioned and have then forgotten that you've mentioned, that's probably a pretty big clue that he's super into you. Again, we're going to come back to this idea that an emotionally unavailable man is really independent and does his own thing. When he's into you, he's willing to compromise. Normally, Mr. Emotionally Unavailable, if you suggest a compromise, will go, no, why do I need to compromise? I'm just doing my thing. I'm okay with that. Compromise is a sign that he sees your needs as important as his. He's making your happiness important to him. He's willing to give up on something that he would prefer because it makes you happy. And that is often not something that he's used to. That goes double if he's Mr. Emotionally Unavailable who also only has brothers, or who's got a really competitive relationship with his siblings. He might not be used to the idea that compromise is a good thing. He might be used to the idea that when you compromise, one person wins and one person loses. And he doesn't want to lose. A compromise, and him realizing that compromise can actually be important to him as well as to you, is a sign that he wants to work with you to achieve something better and to achieve a really deep relationship. The same is true if he reaches out to you. An emotionally unavailable guy might be more than happy to meet up and have drinks, go to a club, go out for dinner, go watch a movie, whatever. But quite often, you'll be the one reaching out to him. Mr. Emotionally Unavailable suddenly starts inviting you to things, asking you to come to things. That's, again, quite a big deal. If he reaches out and it's not for an event or to see you, but it's to talk about something that he's worried about, or something that he wants to talk through, or he wants to hear your opinion on things, I'm not sure he qualifies for Mr. Emotionally Unavailable anymore, because he is really trying to open up that. He is working so hard on that one. Really big deal. And it's important that you respond to that by being there for him. That's an opportunity for him to understand the value of being emotionally available. And that's an opportunity for you to show him how you would like him to respond to you. If he starts talking about his feelings spontaneously, sometimes you can ask him, hey, what are you thinking? Or, oh, how did you feel about that? And if he's still in emotionally unavailable phase, he will give you a broad answer, maybe not very much detail, and he certainly won't volunteer that information. Once he starts to be used to being more emotionally available, he'll start bringing up his feelings. And that's a sign that he feels really safe with you, because that's not something that someone who's emotionally unavailable does. They just don't do it. It's not they don't find it easy, they don't really understand the point. So when he does that, that's really letting you in. And now the final part, the final thing that I think is the biggest sign that Mr. Emotionally Unavailable is not only super into you, but actually he's really willing to do the work that he needs to do to make this work. And that's when he starts talking to you about his past relationships, and he tells you the things that he did wrong. Someone who's emotionally unavailable and struggles to open up will also struggle to see their part in relationships failing. They won't really understand or want to explore what they did wrong. The relationship has ended. Okay, that sucks. I'll move on. That's kind of the mindset. And so if he's starting to explore what he did wrong and how he could have done it better. And especially if he's willing to talk to you about that, that really is him moving towards being a secure, open, emotionally available, loving partner. So if that's starting to happen, really feel confident that he does care. And it might be time to pluck up your courage and start having the open, honest conversations about how both of you feel. So those are my thoughts on how you know what's really going on with an emotionally unavailable man. What are your thoughts? I'd love to hear in the comments whether any of this resonates with you, whether you've noticed something else that was a fantastic sign and really showed you that the man you were into is opening up a little bit. Also, as always, if you've enjoyed this video, please do like and subscribe, and we'll have some more content for you soon. All right, take care.